Hello everyone, welcome to this new video, welcome back to my garden. If you're new here, hi, I'm Dominika. I post balcony and container gardening content. If that's something you're interested in, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel to not miss out on my future videos. So today I would like to take you guys on one last tour of my garden. 2025 gardening season has come to an end, so I would like to show you how my garden looks at the end of the season, what remains in my garden, around this time of the year, highlight a couple of evergreen plants and show you a couple of new plants that I recently added to my garden. And then I also would like to show you how I decorated my balcony for Christmas. So I'm gonna show you like a day and a night version of my garden. I'm really sorry for the background noise. There's a lot of construction going on these days, so it's really tricky to record these videos, so I hope that it's not too bothering. But without further ado, let's take a quick tour of my garden. Alright, so those of you who are new to the channel, I garden in zone 8A. So our winters are usually cold and dry, although this winter has been fairly mild so far. We had temperatures drop below freezing, we had some snow, but right now it's pretty mild. We probably will have some temperatures below freezing, maybe by the end of December. Usually January, February are pretty cold, but then spring comes usually pretty quick as well. So we don't really have like severe weather during winter, but we do have cold winters. And as you can see, my balcony garden, my terrace garden is in the shade, in full shade around this time of the year, usually from October all the way until like mid-April. I do not receive any direct sunlight at all, and then in summer the railing planters receive about 4 hours of sunlight, but then the further into the balcony you go, the less sunlight the plants receive. These receive about 2 hours of sunlight, and then when I turn around, this area here does not receive any sunlight at all. Only the clematis can catch a little bit of sunlight. So this is a full shade garden, and this part is a perennial garden. There are only perennials in here. I have a couple of evergreen plants. Those empty looking pots, that's where I have my herbaceous perennials that go dormant during winter. We have a Japanese maple that has lost its leaves, obviously. Then podophyllum usually goes dormant, but this year it is holding on to a couple of leaves still. The most beautiful plants, I would say, here around this time of the year is the fern here, Polystichum polyblepharum, and then Heuchera silver gumdrop. Usually Tiarella, the little plant over here, usually it keeps its foliage as well during winter, but it was attacked by vine weevil grubs, so it is still in the bouncing back process. So for now, only 2 plants in here. I try to put pine cones in my empty pots or some sort of mulch. Here we have pine cones, here we have clay balls, more pine cones and some wood or more bark shavings, just to add a little bit of interest so that the containers don't look completely empty. Then over here, my new addition is beautiful variegated hebe plant. It had beautiful purple flowers in autumn. I should probably remove them to make the plant look more like aesthetically pleasing, but I really love variegated plants because they just add so much interest and they kind of pop, especially see in those shady gardens. You can clearly see those variegated foliage. I think that looks really pretty. Another evergreen plant, Heuchera black pearl. In the winter, when it does not receive any sunlight or any even bright light, the foliage is pretty dark. I really like it though, because the underside has this velvety pink shade. But yeah, in summer it has that kind of iridescent glow to it. It looks really pretty. I have also, I forgot to mention, hellebore in here. It's still a young plant, so there's just a little bit of foliage. I probably will have some flowers next year, but this year I don't have any foliage on this one, but I'm gonna show you as I turn around a hellebore with foliage and with beautiful flowers. So to finish with this area, we have a couple of perennial plants. Bay laurel. Bay laurel technically is at the limit of hardiness in my zone 8, but I have trained this plant since it was like teeny tiny to be more and more resistant, and now I have this beautiful topiary. And over here, Clematis montana, Meline, absolutely massive. In October, we had like terrible wind and storms, and this whole thing kind of just was pulled down by the wind, and I decided to replace my hooks. I used to use these hooks. You can buy them pretty much anywhere online. They are advertised as plant hooks, but you see, the problem with these is these green ones are still quite nice, but then I had a couple of white ones, and the white ones, as long as this part adhered super well to the wall, these plastic actual hooks that actually hold the plant in place, they were really, really weak and poor quality, so they would break off. So this part would remain on the wall while this broke off and there was nothing holding the plant anymore, so that the whole thing kind of collapsed. So now I'm using new type of hooks, these smaller ones, and I'm hoping that these hold better. I found them on Amazon. They were advertised as I think cable or light hooks, you know, like if you were to put your Christmas lights outside, then you would need them to be, you know, hold in place. That's kind of what they were advertised as. So I'm hoping that this provides more support to my beautiful clematis. As we move on, I kept this Hakonokloa grass. Hakonokloa is a semi-evergreen. It can be evergreen in milder climates, and you would expect it to be maybe evergreen in zone 8, but it usually just dies down. But I don't mind. I feel like it provides a beautiful texture and adds a bit of interest, even though it looks like dead grass. I really like it, so I kept it. Then on this side, I planted a lasagna, a bulb lasagna. I have 3 containers with 2 different types of bulbs, 2 different types of tulips, and then I planted some little violas on top, just to add a little bit of interest and to not have empty looking containers. And on this side we have yet another beautiful evergreen plant. This is Euonymus harlequin. I've had this plant for, I believe, 5 years now, and I really like that with cold temperatures it has this beautiful pink tinge, like it's blushing, like you could almost say that the leaves are blushing in the cold. I really like this. A beautiful, very resistant, very winter hardy plant. And the really interesting thing about this plant is that you can really shape it to whatever shape you want. You could create a bow, you could just let it grow wild, but the second it finds some support, it actually becomes a climbing plant. So I think that's really, really awesome. And as I mentioned earlier, here we have a beautiful hellebore, ice and roses. Sometimes this plant blooms closer to spring, sometimes it blooms midwinter. This year it decided to bloom at the beginning of winter. I have 3 hellebores total in my garden, and I think that every garden needs at least 1 hellebore because, I mean, take a look at this. They are so winter hardy, very, very resistant. They provide beautiful evergreen foliage, beautiful winter flowers. So what's not to love about these plants, right? And they grow really well in containers as well. Alrighty, let's continue. On the table, just a little, for now I would say ugly looking composition, but come spring this will burst with flowers. I just recently planted some pansies, so they don't look very hot, but they should provide some beautiful winter interest here in a couple of months. Evergreen arch made of variegated ivy, Hedera helix. I think the variety is called Glacier. The same plant that I have over here on this topiary, or rather obelisk, cone-shaped obelisk. Beautiful evergreen accent, really low maintenance, really resistant. Absolutely love it. And behind I have a new addition to my garden that I'm absolutely excited about, and I cannot wait for this plant to be more mature, to really show us what it's capable of. This is a beautiful, first of all, evergreen, winter flowering clematis. Clematis Christmas surprise. Take a look at those beautiful dainty flowers. So they start off as creamy yellow and then they mature to white. So I've always wanted to have a Christmas or like winter flowering clematis. There are many different kinds. It is Clematis cerosa or chirosa, not sure how you pronounce it correctly. So I planted it in here, and if you follow my videos, you remember probably that I had another clematis in here, Clematis Josephine, a beautiful summer flowering clematis. I still have it in my garden. I'm gonna show you in a moment where I moved it. But yes, I'm really excited about this clematis. I can't wait to see it grow and provide even more flowers next year. On this side of the bench, we still have a rose. Rose has bounced back, beautiful, healthy green foliage still, despite cold weather, despite winter temperatures. The rose is doing really, really well. So I'm hoping it continues to grow this healthy next year, even though it's in the shade. It receives maybe 3 hours of sunlight, but this rose, Mary Delaney, is supposed to tolerate shady areas. It has done phenomenal in the first year. This year, its second year, it did not do as well as the first year, so I was a little concerned, but our temperatures were absolutely crazy this year, so perhaps it just needs to adapt. It needs more time to adapt. A couple of evergreen plants in here. We have a heuchera, yet another heuchera. I am not entirely sure what variety is this. It could be, it never came, I mean, it did not come with a plant tag, so I'm not sure about the variety. It could be any variety, because heucheras are really difficult to identify, given that they change color throughout the seasons and depending on how much light they receive. It could be heuchera encore, not entirely sure. And then this beautiful ornamental grass, Carex Ever Gold, also very winter hardy, beautiful variegated foliage. I really, really enjoy the color it provides and just the texture it provides, especially around this time of the year. We have a little sedum here, Palmerii, that has beautiful yellow flowers in the spring. And over here, just a couple of containers. All of these containers that look empty, like this one and this little grouping on the floor here, all of these have loads and lots of spring bulbs in them. I did not plant anything on top of them because I actually just want to enjoy those spring bulbs on their own in the spring. So for now they are looking kind of empty. On this side, here's where I transferred my Clematis Josephine. So I didn't actually transplant it. I moved the containers because obviously these containers are the same size. So I just swapped the containers without transplanting this plant. So now the Clematis Josephine is gonna grow here on the arch. I think that this is a better place for it. And the clematis that I had here previously, Clematis Jackmanii, I ended up giving it away to my grandmother because I felt like it was too large and the flowers were too dark. Like, my garden is in the shade for most of the day and these flowers were really, really dark purple, and it also didn't bloom for a very long time, so I prefer to have something that blooms for longer periods of time. All right, here we have another hellebore. So we have some first flower buds. This one is a classic hellebore, like the white flowered hellebore, and usually it's covered with blooms. This year it's starting a little late. Usually this one blooms before the other one, but that's okay, as long as it blooms, I don't mind. All right, and we have arrived to the end of the balcony in the vertical planter. This year I just didn't get around to planting much in it. Usually I have some lettuce, some winter lettuce going on, or some, winter greens, but this year I was kind of late and I just didn't plant anything. I have my strawberries in here. Strawberries are perennial plants, obviously, so they will grow here for many years. And now the hydrangea has finally started to drop its foliage. Like, this hydrangea is holding onto its leaves for like a really, really long time, which I don't mind, but now it's dropping the leaves all over the place. And behind it, yet another beautiful ivy, I believe Gold Child, if I'm not mistaken. So yet another winter evergreen accent. So this is how the balcony looks at the end of the year. Alright, so this is how the balcony looks during the day. At the end of December, I hope that you found some ideas and inspiration on what you can plant in your own balcony garden, or how you can add winter interest to your balcony garden. What plants could you possibly add to your little urban gardens. So now I would like to show you how I decorated my balcony for Christmas, how it looks at night. Usually I go kind of all out with my Christmas decorations. Like, I like to hang a lot of different lights to really celebrate this time of the year, to celebrate this season. So this year I actually wanted to change a couple of things, because for the past 2-3 years I've been using the same decorations. I've been kind of decorating the same way. So I wanted to change a couple of things this year, but then I kind of didn't plan ahead of time, and I just ran out of time. So I just decided, okay, let's just go with the flow, let's hang a couple of lights, and in all cases, you know, whether I hang lights or not at all, I will still enjoy my garden. So I ended up hanging up a couple of lights, and I actually changed, as you could see, maybe the red bows on my tuyas. I wanted to decorate them as Christmas trees, but then again, as I said, I kind of didn't get around to planning and just buying decorations, so I just stay with the bows, and that's all. So let's quickly switch to night mode. Let me show you, let me give you a quick look on how it looks at night.